Introducing Business Tech Guide, where business and tech meets endless possibilities. Join us whilst we explore the latest updates in the world of business and technology. Do not miss out. Welcome back, guys, to Business Tech Guide, where business and tech meets endless possibilities. This is your go-to source for the latest updates in the world of business and technology. I'm your host, Nadia Chantal, and this show is sponsored by Tendo Technologies, while diving straight into our first segment, Tech in Brief. Tech in Brief. First up, OPay, a Chinese-backed fintech, has received court approval to freeze customer accounts across 30 banks to recover 714 million naira lost due to a system glitch between December 2023 and March 2024. Only 10% was recovered voluntarily, prompting legal action to reclaim the rest. Also, Moody's has downgraded Kenya's financial rating after recent protests led the government to scrap a tax plan intended to raise funds. The agency is concerned about Kenya's ability to pay its debts. Lastly, South Africa's Public Works Department has lost $16 million over a decade to hackers. The new minister suspects insider involvement, with investigation revealing possible collusion between officials and criminals. That's all we have today for our Tech in Brief segment today. A lovely thanks to our sponsor, Tendo Technologies. We'll be taking a brief break, and when we return, we'll dive into our innovator segment. Stay tuned.
Tendo, based in Ghana, a platform for individuals to resell products using social media.
My name is Felix. I am the CEO of Tendo. Tendo is a platform that enables anyone in Africa to start an online store with zero capital.
Tendo is a social commerce app for resellers. The platform has built a network of suppliers and then handles the fulfillment when an order is placed. For the resellers, after identifying the products they want to sell through Tendo's app, they can add a markup on the wholesale price, which is their profit, and they use social media to sell to their community.
They would find the products that they want, and we would guide them on how much they can price, how much profit they can add to the product. But once they share it and they generate orders, Tendo actually fulfills the order, so we deliver to their end customers and send their profits to them. These resellers act as sources of truth and recommendations for the end buyers. Their desire really is to leverage on that community to generate an income.
From an earnings perspective, Tendo isn't providing the equivalent of a full-time income for their users. That's by design. They are one part of their users' portfolio of work.
Our average user base earns right now about $60 monthly. And I think it's significant because a lot of these users are using the income that they're earning on Tendo for very impactful things. So paying for fees, paying for their children, buying essential things that they need. But our idea is to find something that's very easy. They can do it on their smartphone. They can do it while they're doing all their different other things. And then we can take the heavy lifting and just leverage on what they have, which is their drive, their skills, and the relationships that they've built.
To Business Tech Guide on DGN. Today we're thrilled to have the Director of Africa Center for Digital Transformation, Kwesi Ituahene. It promotes digital literacy, supports tech infrastructure, and fosters innovation across Africa. It collaborates with governments, businesses, and communities to drive digital growth. Thanks for coming on our show, Kwesi.
Thank you very much, Nadia, for having me.
Okay, lovely to have you here. So, before we start, we play a little bit of rapid fire games.
Okay.
So, quick questions. So, the first question is PC or Mac? Which would you choose?
I would choose PC.
PC, yes. Okay, lovely. Why not Mac? Okay, just like PC.
Oh, I'm a bit old-fashioned, so I stick with the old.
Alright, okay. So what's the latest gadget you bought?
Yes, in terms of the product, or?
Yeah,
yes.
Latest gadget.
Like a phone, yeah, a phone.
Okay,
yes.
A phone, alright, okay. So what's the most used app on your phone?
WhatsApp.
Really?
Yes,
you
WhatsApp.
Like WhatsApp?
Yes, WhatsApp is my most used app. I think WhatsApp is very popular in Ghana. You know,
everybody uses WhatsApp.
Yes.
I feel all the oldies, the youngies, everyone.
Let me tell you a funny story.
Tell me.
My old lady wanted a phone.
Which old lady though?
I'd say my grandmother.
Okay.
Wanted a phone.
Okay.
Then she said, "Oh, I want the one with WhatsApp."
She wants to text her friends. Okay. So online or offline storage, which one do you like? prefer?
I enjoy the newspaper stories,
Okay.
but the online stories too is a go-to story when news break fresh.
Okay.
But typically, I'm the type that would want to look out for what's in the newspapers,
Yeah.
what are they saying and stuff like that.
Okay. So, Windows or Linux? Which one do you
Oh,
prefer?
Windows.
Windows.
Oh, yes.
You said you're an Android
Yes.
guy. You like that?
Oh, yes, Android. Android all the way.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're done with our rapid fire questions. So now we are headed to our main questions.
Okay.
But I want you to tell us, what is the Africa Center for Digital Transformation?
Okay.
Yeah, so walk us
Okay,
through that.
so thank you very much. So the Africa Center for Digital Transformation, it's a not-for-profit entity
Okay.
registered under the laws of Ghana that seeks to help, collaborate, and promote all the activities that falls under digital transformation on the African continent. As part of the things we do digital literacy.
Okay.
So we organize trainings, skill development trainings, conferences that brings together all the tech people, fine brains working in silos together to brainstorm and think around a particular problem and find solutions to them. Parts of that, this coming 19th, Friday 19th, we would have a conference by the grace of God with the finest brain in Imani, Ghana.
Wow.
Salom Abrantia, we have Global Info Analytics, Musa Dankwa.
Wow.
We have Divine SK Agbeti with the British Petroleum and Head of Advisory for the ACDT in UK. And we also do have Paul Ahe, who is with the UCC, is a lecturer at the Computer Science Department. So it's part of the things we do. We also do policy development, policy advocacy. Let me just chip in this quickly.
Okay.
Quite a number of policies we have in our country, Ghana, are oftentimes policies that are being spearheaded at the World Bank level or European Union level, and in recent times, the African Union level. Even in Ghana, if you are implementing a project in Accra, it would be very much different in the northern region. The dynamics of digital accessibility, digital literacy is not the same. So there are places still in Accra that you may suffer to get some network, depending on the network provider you are using. There are a number of places in Ghana that still are not digitally exposed.
Yeah.
So the policies must be broken down to be able to attend to the needs of everyone, particularly the advocacy for digital inclusion on the side of our colleagues in the rural world is one that is very dear to our hearts. So we try to engage government entities, we try to engage people who are in the digital stakeholder to try to help. I must say that in recent times, our country, Ghana, has had leaders who have been very passionate about digitalization. I must say, I must acknowledge that.
Because we're in the digital age, so they have to be. You have
Exactly.
to adapt it
I
with the
mean,
times.
quite a number of people have even criticized the vice president, saying
Everything
that
he says is digital. He did.
yeah. So we've had that bits of criticisms, but I must acknowledge both people in the leading parties in Ghana, the NPP and NDC, even John Mahama also, before he left power, had started off the Accra Digital Center to be a baseline to spearhead the digital agenda of the country. Possibly, imagine we had the Accra Digital Center, likewise in every district, or capital in Ghana. It would have really helped.
It would have been good, yeah.
So the intention towards it is good, and for us as a center, we enjoy the positioning of their minds towards the future.
That is amazing. So your core objectives, Can you talk me through that? Because I
Yes,
heard you
yes.
said
So
something
our
about
core
literacy, yeah.
objectives: digital literacy,
Okay.
policy development,
Okay.
capacity building. Big on the table, I must say, cybersecurity also.
Yes.
And lastly, we are into innovation entrepreneurship.
Wow.
So it's one that we are yet to jump on. We are still putting in place structures and infrastructures to roll them out. We intend to run accelerators, incubators for tech people with brilliant ideas
Wow. Okay.
to be assisted with policy developers with business development brains
You're speaking
to
about
be
my show
able
here at
to
this point. Because,
to be
okay.
able to refine the idea. There are lots of tech software engineers in Ghana who have fine ideas, trust me, fine ideas. Ghanaians.
Yeah.
The challenge they have is that the typical tech person with brilliant idea also don't have the marketing edge. Most of them don't even have the systems to sell what they have
Even the
produced.
funding is quite tough.
Exactly. So the center intends to partner, collaborate with other agencies to be able to give best to that initiative.
That's really good.
Thank you very
You
much.
guys are making Africa proud.
We tried.
So yeah, so how does your organization facilitate digital transformation initiatives? Like all the programs you guys do, how does it come about?
All right. So, all the things we are trying to do, there are others who have gone ahead of us who are doing similar things on larger scale. I'm sure you may have heard of Smart Africa. Smart Africa is a brainchild of the African Union where quite a number of African countries and their leaders are on them.
Yeah.
And so they decide, and the Smart Africa unit will push it. They are doing amazing things. So we collaborate around the world. We build partnerships to be able to do all that we are doing. In Ghana, for instance, in the last couple of months, we have been on top of this government in terms of the last intention to award a license of 5G to run. We mounted an advocacy to also bring to the attention of government that, look, the idea is a brilliant one, but we think that you need to be able to also pay attention to the electricity conversations. At the time, there was a huge instability in our electricity. I think now it's a bit better.
Yes, better.
And we are looking forward to a future where we won't have these issues back and forth. Once you have a stable electricity where you can go to work and come back and be sure that by the time you're going home, you'll have light, then other conversations can be built on. Our country have had precedents where we can jump from 1 to 10. Then the next person would have to come and start again from 2. Then from 2, he can jump to 20. Then the next person that comes has to come and start from 3. It doesn't really help.
Yeah.
It's best that we have a system where we can progressively develop.
Yeah, and the structure should be in place so that when the next person comes, it's
Exactly.
easy. Yeah.
That really helps. So we are very open to collaboration, and it's really been helpful. Like I mentioned, there are a number of institutions that have already been doing what we are doing. Top on our table is also research and development. Global Info Analytics, even though they are a profit-making organization, have been very open to partnerships, collaboration. We've worked with groups that focused on women development, rural development, like Multity Foundation, to help in the advocacy for digital literacy among women in the rural world. And they have been doing that for a couple of years now. Their current director is even in the US on the back of one of the US embassy programs that they run.
Wow.
So partnerships has been amazing.
Okay, so that's how it has helped you.
It has really helped.
Yes.
The second thing I must say is that we have one of the best brains you can find on our continent in our team. Divine S.K. Agbeti served in the British Army as a cybersecurity leader. He moved from there to work with the Bank of England. And currently, he's the leading face of the British Petroleum in the UK in terms of cybersecurity. He has a wide range of network that he's dragged all of them to help. Also on the advisory team, we have another fine brain called Patrick Stevenson. Patrick worked with Imani. He was the head of policy. He moved on. He's worked with the World Economic Forum. So we have an amazing team. There's a gentleman called Simeon Mede. He's currently based in France. I'm sure he's making some movements. He has many years of long standing with the African Union student movement. He has a very rich experience in terms of policy development. We have quite a number of people. Some of them have media background. Some of them have tech background. So by the grace of God, the team that we've been able to build also has been a miracle for the things we've done. But I must say that one of the challenges that in my 30 years of living in Ghana I have realized is that a lot of younger people have brilliant ideas, but the problem we've had has got to do with collaboration. You know, if someone gets a good idea, the person wants to even hide it.
Keep it to themselves.
Exactly.
Steal it.
Exactly. That's what we all
We're not
think.
really big on the intellectual property thing. Now we're learning, but then back then it was a bit tough.
Yes, but you are better off making the attempt to drag other people into the picture. Look, there are businesses in Ghana that can be a multi-million-dollar business if they were open to partnerships, you know, but most of them are not. They will keep the business, and eventually when the CEO grows, he'll hand it over to the son.
Yeah.
Then the son will collapse the business. You know, I think the way to go is for many of you who have the platform to also encourage and advocate that people should be open to collaboration. People should be open to partnerships, not necessarily foreign, you know, local partnerships.
I feel like now I'm seeing a lot of that, like in partnership with this and partnership with that.
That's brilliant.
I feel like
you know.
that's what this age has brought, this new
That's
digital
brilliant.
age has brought.
Because, I mean, the government has also been on the neck of Ghanaians promoting entrepreneurship, I must say.
That's true.
Like, you can have 10 university people come together, start off something. Okay, each of you can contribute 100 Ghana cedis. Okay, you have 1,000 Ghana cedis. The 1,000 Ghana cedis, you put it into something. You start off, you know, then you do the paperwork, you know, I own this part, you own this part, then with the same commitment. But one person wants to be the Lord of all, you know, it does not work that way.
It does not.
Yeah, the Trump approach of things.
No, it does not work that way. So I think we should all encourage people to actually partake in like partnerships and stuff.
It really helps.
Yes.
It really helps. Look, sometimes the person who is the leading face of an organization, in most cases, is not even the machine running the organization.
Yeah.
You know, some people are skillful in terms of public speaking. Some people are persuasive with their speech, and they can comfortably lead from that front. Others are very technical, but they are not that vocal. You know, so you play on your strength. You know, the way out of poverty is not to compete with each other, but to collaborate and to play on our strength. You know, really know your strength and put it out. You know, that really helps. Yeah.
So that will come to my next question. What are some of the primary challenges that you guys have faced in trying to digitize Africa?
Yes, so one of the challenges that we've had, I must say, in recent times, has been people opening up to assist. Look, in the cycle of life, you would always have someone ahead of you, and you would always have someone behind you.
Yeah.
Those ahead of you must be willing to reach out, to mentor you, to guide you to succeed. Then, as you grow and age, you also reach out to those behind you to also guide them, to mentor them, and to ensure you succeed.
There should be no hoarding of power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For us who work a bit in the civil society organizations, we already have civil society organizations that if I ask you to mention one, you can easily shoot out one because they are popular They have a wide scope of leverage. They have international partnerships. They know they have done lots of work. For some of them, you approach them, they look at your background. They don't want to associate with you because perhaps you are new in the system. But we have been fortunate, I must say. Some of them have readily bought into the idea. Some of them have jumped on board. They have supported. Generally, we also have one of my bosses would say that an idea proposed is as important as who is proposing the idea.
That's true.
So if you suggest a very brilliant idea, everybody will look at you. Okay, who is saying it?
Who is he?
Yeah, so we may have brilliant ideas that we may have put it out. Some of them have been considered. Some of them are yet to be considered. In the last few months, specifically with this month, July, the Africa Center for Digital Transformation has been staging a fierce advocacy for political parties, electoral commission, and all stakeholders to start to put in place the necessary measures to prepare in terms of cyber defense, cyber vigilance, protecting your cyber vulnerabilities ahead of the upcoming elections. I'm sure that it may be a question that you would pop up. So
don't go into it now.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
All right. So your primary challenges are people helping you.
Basically, it's been not necessarily people helping, but people being open to drag along.
Yes.
Especially people who work in government offices. Especially. Look, a lot of the regulatory bodies would be a bit distant from upcoming institutions. They are not readily open.
They want to know about you before they get into bed with you, basically.
Yes, but you see, that kind of attitude also plays out in different fronts. Okay, so as a regulatory body, part of the things you do is also to nurture and ensure that the people that may fall directly under your entity are doing well. I would use this platform to congratulate one agency that I think they are doing very well, even though they are a government entity. The NEIP, what's the full name? National Entrepreneurship something.
Okay.
Yeah, but they are doing very well. I think the current leader is something of Fosu. Amazing. Fosun Cancer or something. Yeah, they are doing very well. Their units have been quite open in terms of getting younger face who have initiatives to shoot out. They've been able to develop quite a number of innovation centers across the country. And now they even have put all of them together under an umbrella. So you have fine brains trying to do things, and a government entity goes in to help. It rarely happens in Ghana. It rarely happens, I must say. So that is a challenge that many people who work in my space can relate with. But I've given you some good examples that I believe other agencies can also learn from.
Yes, that's amazing. So you've been bringing out initiatives, projects and stuff, as you've told me. So now I want to know, highlight one successful project that you have been able to bring out.
Oh,
Just
okay.
one.
So we have a monthly digital dialogue series that we run. Like I mentioned earlier, top on our blog is digital literacy. Digital literacy, for those of us watching, I may want to break down a bit, where we try to make people aware of different things happening in the digital space. So we bring to the table the finest brains you can have. Some of them from the Central Bank of Singapore, some of them from GIZ, from the GIZ headquarters in Germany. We've dragged amazing personalities to the table to meet younger Ghanaians, younger Africans, and have a conversation. Last month in June, we were privileged to have met with a group called Enrich in Africa. They are based in South Africa. We had an amazing conversation with them where what they do is to help civil society organizations who are beginning to be stable. So people who are starting off new stuff, they have such a robust principle that they can guide you with to succeed.
That's amazing.
Yes, so we have been a bridge between people who have an idea and people who can help them bring their idea into life. So
Okay.
that's one of the things I can readily say that it's been successful. I must say, yeah.
So I also want to ask, what are some of the strategies that you've put in place to help these things go smoothly? Like these initiatives that you have implemented go smoothly. What are some of the strategies?
Well, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Okay.
Generally, I'm a very people person.
We can tell.
So if there's something that needs to be done, we have a team that plans ahead, actually. Our head of programs and executive vice president, Evelyn, has a whole year program planned out.
Nice.
So before the month shows up, we know exactly what we are doing, who we need to talk to, who we need to approach. But any time I approach people and say that, hey, this is what we are doing, this is what we think that you can contribute to make it succeed. This is what I think that if you contribute, we can impact. This is what we can achieve together. Like Shakespeare would say, and you need to be able to speak in the interest of other people. So everybody is a bit self-centered. So in communicating with people, you need to be able to speak in the interest of the other person, the person knowing clearly that what they stand to get can be able to jump on board. That's been a very good strategy that we've used over the years. The Africa Center for Digital Transformation also have tried to brighten our corner where we are. Even though our name suggests we want to be able to bring together all the people working in silos on the African continent under one umbrella. We also have a strength. We have a place where we can comfortably succeed. Before, when the lights is a bit more brighter, it can show forth in other places in Africa. We have not reached all the corners of the continent yet. We are making inroads in Ghana. We have made some level of inroads in South Africa and some parts of Eastern Africa, I must say. In the next couple of years, 5, 10 years, our focus will be in the Central Africa. Huge opportunities in the Central Africa, trust me. Huge opportunities.
That's amazing.
Yes,
You're doing the work.
the Central and Western Africa, if you look at the landscape, we are a bit laid back in terms of digitalization. The Northern and the Northern, Eastern, and the Southern Africa have gone a bit ahead of us. So when you go to Eastern Africa, for instance, in Kenya and Rwanda, they have like a Silicon Valley duplication sort of.
Nice.
Yes. Every Kenyan has got something sort of a digital ID, where if you want a passport, like they have app like WhatsApp, where you can enter in your ID and your name. Then you can request for a passport. If you want a driver's license, you can request it on the app, like a citizen ID. It's the Kenyans do have it. We don't have it in Ghana.
But you're about to implement it, hopefully.
We are hoping that the governments may be open.
5 to 10 years.
We are hoping that. Looking at the position of our governments and their thinking,
they are open to.
We hope that they are quite open. I think. Proud to. Couple of years ago, 10 years ago, we didn't have passports being online where you can apply online, but now it's possible. We are hoping that a number of agencies can follow suit, and it will really help because it makes it more easier. If you want a Ghana card now, you would have to go to the office, and if you want to replace, you have to go to the office.
There's a lot of stress, the line.
It's terrible.
Everything.
So it's a good call, but that problem also suggests that it's an opportunity that needs a solution. So for people who have brilliant ideas in that space can take advantage of it. So the Center, Africa Center for Digital Transformation, like I said, in the next 5 years, will be making inroads in the Central Africa and broaden our scope also in the Western Africa.
That is amazing. So it takes me to my next question.
Yeah.
What are your future initiatives?
Oh, amazing.
You
amazing.
said 5 to 10, so give
I like
us
the flow, you know. Yeah, so as a center, we hope to collaborate with governments, government today, government tomorrow, to be able to help develop the right policies. As a center, we hope to work with other international development organizations to advance the cause of digital literacy, specifically among rural women, specifically among people who live in the outskirts of the cities, to be able to also take advantage of the opportunities the internet can present, making sure that our digital opportunities are more accessible. Also, as a center, we also seek to encourage Ghanaian brains to continue the innovation and support them with all the entrepreneurial skills and tools we could provide. Look, let me say this one is a bit controversial, but I'll say it on your platform. All the big international development organizations making all the noise about digital transformation, behind the scenes, they are also promoting companies that have their origin in their country. Okay, so you may find, name them, all the US Development Organization, the German Development Organization, the Norwegian, the Danish Development Organization, or European Union even, making conversations, supporting, promoting digital transformation. Behind the scenes, they have companies who they are pushing to take advantage of the opportunities in the digital space.
Okay.
The Chinese are doing the same. Why not Ghanaian companies? Yeah. Why not local companies also being put forward to take advantage of the opportunities that we can be available with in the digital transformation conversation? So as a center is one of the things that is very dear to our heart, to be able to encourage local companies. Just 2 months ago, I attended a program organized by UNICEF, the UNICEF Startup Lab, organized a program they call the Digital Public Goods. The idea for digital public goods is to encourage Ghanaian brains to develop tools, apps, tech infrastructure that can be available for our collective use. You know, so apps like ChatGPT. Do you use ChatGPT?
I use it. It's making my life so easy.
Okay, yeah. So ChatGPT is a typical example of digital public good where the app is available. You know, other people can contribute to building it. So one person started it, but other people contributed to it, and it's available for free. There are parts of ChatGPT that you can purchase. You know, so
4.0.
Exactly. So they are encouraging entities like that. And at the meeting, I realized that, look, they are very fine brains. You know, they are very fine brains. That program was sponsored by, I think, KOICA. KOICA is a South Korean development organization. These fine brains are Ghanaian brains. KOICA, UNICEF has seen the need to put them together and to support the development of their thinking and to encourage them to develop digital public good. This is a vacuum that our Ministry of Education could have taken advantage of. This is a vacuum that civil society organization like the one I ran can't take advantage of. Yeah. You know, so as Africans and as Ghanaians. So I think that being aware of that opportunity is very important, that going forward we can readily also be available to develop our own.
Yes, that is amazing. Wow. So I'm done asking you questions about Africa Center of Digital Transformation, what you guys do. It has been really insightful. Now, I saw that you dropped a press release
Yes.
about the elections
Yes.
in December. So I wanted to ask you some questions surrounding that. So I'll head into
Sure,
that.
I'm
Okay.
excited.
Okay, so I wanted to know, what are the main cybersecurity threats to the elections, upcoming elections?
Okay, well, thank you very much for this question. First of all, I must acknowledge that Ghana has had a background of some cyber attacks in our elections.
Yeah.
I must also acknowledge that it is not only Ghana that has had that incident. Sierra Leone has had that kind of attack in the election. Tanzania has had that kind of attack during the election. Even in Nigeria, 2015, 2019. It's happened in Sudan. It's happened in Uganda. It's happened in quite a number of countries. Just recently, even in South Africa, during their coalition, their system crashed. What it means is that as we transition to make attempts to digitalize our electoral processes, it's also important that we are putting in place the right security measures to protect them. And in most cases, because we are still in the process of digitalizing, political parties especially will not come along the process. Eventually, when we get there, then there is some sort of attack. Then conversation sparks out. Then it appears as though somebody is trying to cheat somebody. So we decided that we will start to create that awareness where the Electoral Commission, having had the background in 2016 that where their website was hacked and it was widely reported, having had in 2020 where there have been series of attempted attacks, you prepare adequately towards the elections. Also, political parties also preparing, at least at the regional level, employing cybersecurity brains to educate people that will handle their register and everything, you know. So it's important. Ghana now has a biometric verification system. There have been a few times where people walk up to polling stations and they try to verify their personalities and they are unable to. And sometimes they'll ask you to stand aside, wait a bit, then people get angry and leave. And they don't even get to vote. We don't want such things to create voter apathy.
Because the process to vote is very, very stressful sometimes.
Exactly.
It doesn't move quick enough.
Exactly. So it is important that we advocate for that. In cybersecurity, there's something we call man in the middle, where the transfer of data from a biometric verification machine to the database can be intercepted. So if you don't have the right security measures, we have done the registration for you, we've taken your details, but the transfer from the biometric verification machine, transfer of it to the database can be intercepted into a different system. There are quite a number of attacks that can happen. Okay, some of them is called spoofing. Spoofing is when people duplicate your presence. All right, so duplicate your presence and encrypt it. So when it's encrypted, you will not be able. You can go to a polling station and they can't even have access to your data.
Wow.
You know, and it's important that you build the right defense. I will use this opportunity also to say that the Electoral Commission, at least for this election coming up, should be able to put in place a new software, security softwares, and possibly get new equipment to support the new security softwares. Look, it is not always the case that cyber attacks are local. Okay, cyber attacks predominantly sometimes are even foreign. There are people that live out of the shores of Ghana whose daily work is to find cyber vulnerabilities, attack them, and ask for ransom amount of money. So if they identify that this year around the world, there are about 60 countries that will be conducting elections. Go through them. Okay, so example, Ghana will be having election. Let's do an analysis of what they have, what they don't have, this. Then they can launch an attack. When they launch an attack, then they will use the background to ask you for money. So against the backdrop of our advocacy is also the fact that somewhere in 15th of April, we had a very unfortunate incident where the Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Sribo, reporting that he can confirm that one biometric verification machine was missing in Northton. 5 days after that, the Director for Operations at the Electoral Commission, I think Mr. Samuel Tete, organized a press conference and indicated that, actually, no biometric verification machine was missing, but rather 5 laptops were missing. So against that conversation where you can have an insider threat, where some persons can be mentioned as, okay, these persons were the one that fast-tracked the missing items, then you need to be able to prepare.
Because it can happen in December.
Exactly.
If it's happening now, it's easy to happen in December.
Exactly.
So we have to stop it now.
Exactly. And some of these people who eventually become insider threats may not necessarily be working for the government of the day or the big person sitting at the top as a commissioner.
Right.
But at the end of the day, should anything go sour, who would be blamed? Maybe you can answer that question.
It will not be them at the top. It will be us that they meant.
So it's important that you put in place measures to be able to address these challenges. I think we all owe our country a duty to make sure that we have a violent-free election. We all owe our country a duty to ensure that whatever that needs to be done to be able to create a society where everybody's voice can be heard is important. The dignity of and the integrity of the election coming up particularly is very important. In the history of the NPP, I believe this is the first time since 1992 that they have a vice president that have been able to become a flag bearer. Very unique. In the history of the NDC, I believe they are having a president who is a former president and is coming back again. So Jomama was once a president and is now contesting. That's also very unique. So the uniqueness around the election can also contribute to the tension of it. But amidst all the tension, we need to be able to protect our cyberspace.
That is right. So I wanted to know, how does social media and disinformation from the campaigns affect people's decision to vote in the people they vote for?
Yes. Social media has emerged to be a very powerful tool. Trust me, Nadia. You can use social media alone to mobilize thousands of people.
That's true.
So
you can influence them.
Exactly.
That's how we have
So
now.
Voter behavior has taken a new turn with social media coming into the space. One of the things that I individually want to see the Electoral Commission do, which has been done, look, in a number of countries, is to partner with institutions like Facebook, Google, WhatsApp, Instagram, to be able to help fight mis and disinformation. They can easily help flag them. With the emergence of citizen journalism, it will not be ideal to just shut down social media on election day. A number of countries have tried it and it hasn't been the best. Like Uganda, in their last election, they shut down WhatsApp, they shut down Facebook and stuff like that. It's not the best. What is ideal is to allow the citizen journalism bit to continue, because something can be happening in Techiman. Somebody can use a phone and genuinely record. Then it can be brought to book. The Ghana Police Service can see it and quickly rush there to help and stuff like that.
True.
But working with these institutions I have mentioned to ensure that we flag them is important. Also, media houses like yourself, DGN, and a number of media houses can set up a fact-checking unit in their newsroom. So whatever information you pull out there, somebody is checking again. You know, the Chef Smith story is one amazing one where even Graphic posted it, you know, and all of us were congratulating him only to find out that it was not really accurate. So it's important that we really, really take our fact-checking conversation really serious so that nobody just put out anything and we run with it.
Yeah.
You know, so when we do that, then we educate our people that, look, we have a collective good if we put out the right information.
Yeah.
If you put out wrong information and someone ends up voting based on the information you have put there, you have led the whole country into a ditch. Because people vote based on the information they are given. You would want to ensure that you are producing the right results by putting out the right information. So we owe our country a duty to do the right thing in terms of what we put out there, collectively, I must say.
That's rightfully said. So, how can the voters now protect themselves from the phishing scams and the cyber attacks?
So that's also very important, you know. I remember during the last election, somebody sent me a message on Facebook and said that, oh, I work for this person, that person in this constituency, and we need some water. So you can send the money to this number.
They want to scam you quickly.
Yeah, it's very popular, you know, and we have quite a number of famous politicians in Ghana that people have created Facebook pages in their name and they are not aware. Every now and then, there are people are complaining. You know, you go on Facebook, then you find someone's name, even the president, you know, like Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, president, and it's not him. Somebody has created a WhatsApp page. Yeah, and there are a number of them.
They're asking for money.
Yes, they're asking for money from people, yeah. So they'll send you a message and say that. So you need to protect yourself, you know. You need to seek and check every information you have. On WhatsApp, for instance, we've had instances where people's WhatsApp have been hacked.
Yes.
And they now use the WhatsApp hack to ask for money from their contacts. If
It has
you,
happened to me before.
oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
If you're on WhatsApp, you need to take advantage of the two-step verification. It's very important. If you can do that, it will really help. In cases like that, it's like a second wall you have built to ensure that you are safe. It's also important that when you receive messages from contacts that you're not familiar with, you should look at it again. If you have a background with someone and the person sends you a message, you should take the language of the person in mind. You know, if I have a relationship with you, I don't mean relationship. You know, so if we text a bit every time, you should be able to take notice of the way I talk to you.
Yeah.
If you receive a message from someone saying that, oh, my name is Kwesi, I need this, I need that, then you know that genuinely this is not the person.
Right.
So it's very important that as a citizen, as an individual in a country, around this time, you take your presence on social media very, very seriously, so that you don't get scammed, so that you don't also get attacked. We've had series of issues where people's identity have been used and misrepresented in different fronts. You need to also be careful the kind of pictures, videos you are putting out, and all of that. Let me just say this finally. There are people who would post on Facebook and expose their location. If you are not the type who have good security around you, you can avoid it. There are people who are quick to announce for everywhere they go. You know, they walk from here to a restaurant to go and eat, they post, they will share the location. They walk from here to go and pick a car, they will post, they'll share the location. Around this time, you would also want to be careful with how you expose where you are at every point in time. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, okay, that's good. I hope our voters have taken the advice that Chrissy has given us. So it brings me to my last question. What advice do you give to the EC concerning the upcoming election?
Yeah, thank you very much. There are lessons that we can learn from our neighboring countries.
Okay.
Very good lessons, I must say. A typical example, in South Africa, before someone becomes an electoral commissioner, the National Assembly would compile a list. Then the list is submitted to the president. Then the president chooses from. In Ghana, we do the reverse. The president appoints, then you go to the parliament to be vetted. All right. So there are people who would think that, oh, this person is already biased. Yeah. Why are you appointing him? This person already has this background. Why are you appointing? Mm-hmm. Because they truly didn't have a space to contribute to who became that.
Yeah.
I would want to encourage the electoral commissioner to be a bit more open. By the grace of God, we have, I keep saying by the grace of God, just pardon me. By the grace of God and the help of people who have become electoral commissioners before and even now, the IPAC is functional. Now, the civil society organizations are also being given some space around the electoral process, from the printing of the ballot papers and all of that. Civil society organizations like the CDD have made very good inroads, I must say. The Electoral Commission should also be a bit open. You know, sometimes they are not doing anything fishy, but it's got to do with communication and information flow. You know, so once people clearly know that this is what you're doing, this is what is it, it helps. You know, it helps clean all the doubts. You know, then again, we need to be able to put in place the necessary measures to safeguard our digital space, specifically with all the cyber issues around the elections. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us.
You're welcome, Nadia.
Okay. We'll be taking a brief break, and when we are back, we would head into our next segment. Thank you so much.
Looking for a side income to support your hustle? Then continue watching. Tendo helps anyone start an online retail business with no capital. Here's how. Download the Tendo app, find products you want to resell, add your profits, and market. You can market by sharing images of the product with your WhatsApp group, Facebook Marketplace, and other marketplaces. When you get a customer, place the order on the app with customer details. Tendo will deliver and send your profit. All you need is your phone and the Tendo app. Download the Tendo app and begin your side hustle journey with us.
Opportunity Spotlight. Welcome back to Opportunity Spotlight on Business Tech Guide, where we highlight potential game-changing opportunities. Finovex, the leading financial services Innovation Summit, will be held at the Maslow Hotel in Sanderton, Johannesburg, on July 22nd to 23rd. Don't miss out on this opportunity to network with the industry leaders. Save your spot at sa.finovex.com. That's all we have today for our Opportunity Spotlight. Business Tool of the Week. Welcome back to Business Tech Guide on DGN. This is the last segment, Business Tool of the Week, where we introduce you to the latest technology making waves in the business world. Today, we're exploring Trello. Trello is a visual project management tool that helps teams organize tasks and projects using boards, lists, and cards. It's a great collaboration tool and also for tracking progress. Here's a quick guide to using Trello. 1. Create an account. Sign up on the Trello app or website. 2. Set up a board. Create a new board for your project. 3. Add lists. Organize your board with lists. Example, to do, in progress, or done. 4. Create cards. Add tasks as cards, including checklists and due dates. 5. Invite team members. Collaborate by inviting other team members on board. 6. Track progress. Move cards between lists to visualize task status. Trello helps teams stay organized and focus on projects. We hope you found this information insightful. Don't forget to join us next time for more news, interviews, and tools to keep you ahead in the ever-evolving world of business. Until then, I'm Nadia Chantal, your host for Business Tech Guide. This show is sponsored by Tendo Technologies. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Introducing Business Tech Guide, where business and tech meets endless possibilities. Join us whilst we explore the latest updates in the world of business and technology. Do not miss out.